15 hour of 9 on Your Women Radio, WFM 91.7, Nigeria's only radio station for women and their families. Good evening, my name is Sumto Titilayo Achamba, and I thank you all for joining me this evening, Thursday, the 3rd of February, 2022. How are you? I hope your day has been amazing. I welcome you to Adult Conversations, where we share real-life issues and discuss matters relating to the heart. Here in Adult Conversations, you get to give all the advice by contributing on this subject matter without judging. Adult Conversations on Women Radio runs every Monday through Thursday because we are here to break the culture of silence. So if you have a story that you would like us to bring to the family of Adult Conversations, if you would like us to profile your story, kindly send in your story to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537, along with your name and contact telephone number. Tonight on Adult Conversations, he's 52 and wants marriage. He's 52 and wants marriage. My name is Bingpe. I'm 26 and a trader. My 52-year-old boyfriend wants to marry me. My boyfriend has 4 children, but he's been divorced for 16 years now and wants me to marry him. What should I do? What should I do? My boyfriend is 52. I'm 26. I'm a trader, and he wants to marry me. My boyfriend has 4 children, but he's been divorced for 16 years, and now he wants me to marry him. What should I do? The number to call to advise Bingpe tonight is 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. You can also send in a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. And anywhere you are in the world, you can listen via the stream link www.wfm917.com. www.wfm917.com. Now please, when you call in, always ensure that you turn down the volume of your radio. I need you to do that so that we can avoid interference and any disturbance coming from any feedback that we might hear in the course of conversation. Please turn down the volume of your radio. Also, when you call in, please don't talk for too long and just beat about the bush. Please, let's focus on the point. Let's try not to be accusing or condemning or judgmental in any way. Just please keep your advice straight to the point. Keep it short, simple, and constructive. As always, we take messages off the Adult Conversations WhatsApp platform first before we start taking calls. This is the reason I always say you're better off joining that WhatsApp platform. You're better off joining the WhatsApp platform. Now, to do that, send your name and contact number indicating interest in joining the group. Send your name and contact number indicating interest in joining the group to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. Send that information to that number via WhatsApp and you'll be added on to the group. Tonight we're starting off with Francis from Ibadan. Francis from Ibadan is saying, good evening to all the Adult Conversations family members. Hope our day was great. Happy weekend in advance. Tonight's issue is a very serious one. I'm short of words. My question to Bingpe is, how many years old are those children? My candid advice to Bingpe tonight is she should think over it and pray over it. Also, consult your pastor over it. And that's from Francis from Ibadan. I came from Akute saying good evening, house. Tonight's issue, Bimpe, is a no-go area. If you truly love yourself, please think about the future of this marriage if your 52-year-old man friend eventually marries you. Please be sincere with yourself. Can you cope with him emotionally and in every area of life in 10, 15, 20 years to come? You have to be intentional about your decision. May the Lord give wisdom. And that's from Ake, from Akute. Amomi from Ikorodu is saying, as in, what are you trying to do? My sister, don't even try it. If the man is not a problem today, the children can be. Please think twice before you go ahead. May God lead you true. And that's from Amomi from Ikorodu. Godwin Ashipu from Lekki is saying, good evening, honorable members of the Adult Conversations family. Bimpe requires wisdom. As he did to his wife before. You're too young to be counted as a second wife in his list. Please just be patient. Don't hurry for marriage. Your husband is beside you. Check around and work out things with him and not the ready-made man. And that is coming from Godwin Ashipu from Lekki. Chinwe from Ejigbo is saying, good evening, lady. As said that the man is your old boyfriend. You have gone deep with him, but think twice before you get into marriage with him. Remember, the wife might still be eyeing him, and not all of his children will like you, so be wise in your decision. Christian from Agric is saying, Bimpe, let's be sincere and plain on this issue tonight. The fact still remains that his first wife is very much alive. This is his case, and not as if he's a widower. There's no way you will fit in that family. He has 4 kids, and you're just 26 years of age. How do you think the children will react to you, knowing fully well that their mom is very much alive and present somewhere? I don't usually include age when giving advice when it comes to marriage discussions, but you see, this one tonight is a no-no for me. You can't be a second wife at 26 to a man who actually divorced his wife. Hello, Bimpe. Stay off him and await your own God-sent husband. You see, when it comes to marriage, don't try to compare yourself to anyone. People might have been doing it, but don't venture into this one. Please, we don't want Akukomman kitchen in the yard. I do not think I said that correctly, but if you're Igbo and you can translate, I would appreciate that. If you can pronounce it correctly as well, I would appreciate that as well. Or Christian, if you're listening, you can call in and, just say that again so that, and give us a translation. Because this my own Igbo, it gets us to be not too strong like that. So please bear with me on that. All right, we're taking calls now, and you can call in to 07000 917 917 07000 917 917. Remember, when you call in, ensure to turn down the volume of your radio. That's 1. 2, please do not stay too long on the line or beat about the bush. Just go straight to your advice. Keep it short, keep it simple, and keep it constructive. Short, simple, constructive. That's what we do, and that's how we do it on Adult Conversations. Now, this story is one that is very dicey. It's one that's very dicey because there's love involved here, there's family involved here, there's children involved here, there's future involved here, there's age involved here. There are quite a number of factors that tie into this particular story tonight, and they play intermittently, they play out hand in hand, and things might not quite work out if you take out one factor and replace it with another. So at this point, we have to give constructive advice to Bimpe a wholesome, constructive advice. If you have any questions, please just ask. I will do my best to ask, and hopefully we get some responses from Bimpe. The first question for me would be, how old are these children? How old are these 4 children? Are they completely out of school? Are they well-to-do? Are they established? Or they're still relatively young? Now, the reason for this question is to know how many people are still living with this man under his roof, which you would most likely be sharing when you get married to him. So if you're living under the roof with these same children, and you're 26, and you have children that are, and he has children that are most probably older than you are, what is that relationship going to be like? Which is why I asked, how old are these children? So if you can answer that, I'll very much appreciate it. Okay, please call back if you can. All right. Now, apart from the age situation, the another thing here, another fact here that we're seeing is that Bimpe is 26 and she's a trader. She's a trader. Now, she doesn't say what her 52-year-old boyfriend does for a living, but one would assume that her 52-year-old boyfriend is already established to a point. Has possibly his own company or a good job or retirement in progress waiting for him somewhere. And one would assume that at that age, he would at least be financially stable to a large extent. Okay, there's a message coming in from Bimpe saying that none of his children live with him. So I would take that to mean that all his children are grown and of age, and so they do not live with him under the same roof anymore. So all his children are out of the house and living on their own. He's a financial analyst by profession. The first 2 children are 28 and 32 years of age, so they're pretty old, and they're also older than Bimpe herself. The other 2 are 9 years old, and they're twins. They don't live together. Yes, none of them lives with him. Okay, so now that we've said that, we've established that, another thing to ask now would be the relationship between Bimpe's 52-year-old boyfriend and his ex-wife. You know, what's the status of your boyfriend and his ex-wife? Are they together? Do they have a healthy co-parenting relationship? And do they see consistently? Are they still very good friends? Does she care whether he marries somebody else? Is she possibly still interested in him? So all that important, very important. Also, how long have you been in a relationship with this man? For how long have you been dating this man? So that's also an important factor. I just asked 2 questions now. What is the status of your relationship, of the relationship with his ex-wife, your boyfriend and his ex-wife? What is their relationship like now? Do they have a healthy co-parenting relationship with their children? Does she care if he marries somebody else, whether younger or older? Does she care? Is she still interested in getting back into a marriage with him? Or they're good and they're fine now, since they've been divorced for 16 years? I mean, what's the status of that relationship? And how long have you been dating this man? So I'm hoping that we get some feedback. In the meantime, the number to call is 07000 917 917. You can also send in a text message or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. Once again, the number to call is 07000 917 917. You can also send in a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. This is Adults Conversations in Your Women Radio, WFM 91.7.
What are the consequences of corruption in the womb? Silence. Silence through diverse forms. Education, healthcare, laws and policies fostering unfavorable conditions of a woman at all levels. The woman agenda breaking that silence, demanding accountability, transparency and compassion.
Are we still live?
The woman agenda
Are you
is
sure?
deliberate and
On Facebook.
in amplifying the voice of women. The woman
See, that
agenda
ended.
Fridays,
Check again.
on Women Radio.
Internet just now. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I feel that there's some sort of lack of professionalism in this because we're talking about 100 lives. Government has to also put in place a structure to make it look like what they have in mind. How do we stop crime in the society? Because at the end of the day, if a man provides for his wife anymore, he looks for other means.
I'm checking.
Mondays through Fridays from 9:15 a.m.
Okay, yeah.
91.7 will
Thank
bring
you.
ladies from across Nigeria's political zones, dissecting, discussing, and disagreeing on topical issues of the day. You too can join the conversation by tweeting us at WFM917 with the hashtag Panorama. WFM 91.7, Voice of Women.
The big question.
In fact, the crazy month, we never had a snake and whether python and swallow money.
Why?
Everything has been crazy.
Conversation, controversial and borderline disruptive. The big question.
Mondays through Fridays at 12:15 p.m. on Your Women Radio WFM 91.7. 26 minutes to 10 on Your Women Radio WFM 91.7. This is still Adult Conversations, where we share real life issues and discuss matters relating to the heart. Tonight on Adult Conversations, we're profiling Bimpe's story. Bimpe is talking to us about the fact that her 52-year-old boyfriend wants to marry her. Now, this is his story. My name is Bimpe. I'm 26 and a trader. My 52-year-old boyfriend wants to marry me. My boyfriend has 4 children, but he's been divorced for 16 years now and wants me to marry him. What should I do? Now, the number to call to give Bimpe some good advice tonight is 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. You can also send in a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. Now, when you call in, please ensure that you turn down the volume of your radio so that we can have a productive conversation without interference or any disturbance from the feedback. Please just turn down the volume of your radio. Also, please make sure that you keep your advice straight to the point, short, simple, and constructive. Please do not attack anybody else's opinion and do not sound condemning or judgmental. This is Adult Conversations. Everyone has a right to their opinion. So please, let's be civil. All right. Additional information from Bimpe is that they've been they've been divorced for 16 years. She said that in the story. Their first 2 children are 28 and 32 years of age. The other 2 are 9 years old and they are twins. They live with the mother and none of them live with him. He's a financial analyst by profession. So they don't see, and by they I mean the 52-year-old boyfriend and the ex-wife. They don't see much. He just, picks up the bills and meets up with the other children, with the younger children, with their nannies. That's how they meet up. So he meets up with the children with their nannies present because she has actually moved on and remarried. She has moved on and remarried. So at this point, they don't really have too much of a relationship anymore, which I'm assuming to mean that she doesn't care if he marries somebody else at this point. So I asked that question earlier, and that is the response from Bimpe. So at this point, you can call in and give your advice to Bimpe now. She's in need of your advice. She's asking, what should I do? And this is possibly from all sorts of different angles. She's possibly thinking, what would people think? How is it going to look? What would my family think? And I also asked a question which I haven't received an answer to yet. Hopefully she gets to answer. In this situation now, I was asking, how long have you been dating? How long has your relationship lasted with this 52-year-old man, with your boyfriend? How long has that relationship lasted? Okay, so yes, how long has your relationship lasted? All right, so additional information, and I'm giving us all this additional information so that we can get full context into Bimpe's story, and then while we're giving advice, we can know exactly what to say and how to say it. Now, the first two children, the 28 and 32 years old children, the grown-ups basically, are from the man's actual marriage, the man's initial marriage. That's the one with his ex-wife now. The 9-year-olds are from a relationship that didn't work with another woman after the divorce. So that's about that one. So he doesn't see the ex-wife, and the other children are with their parents or with their mom, but he sees them with the nannies present, and they have a good relationship basically. Bimpe and her boyfriend have been dating for 2 years. So that's the additional information I'm getting from Bimpe now. So 2 years relationship, 26, she's 26, he's 52, and he's saying he wants to marry her. Yesterday we talked about a story where this lady and the guy, her boyfriend, or the guy she was talking to, they had just been in talking state for 4 months, and he was talking about marriage. And we were talking about the fact that talking stage for 4 months and he's talking about marriage is a little too soon to be talking about marriage. But in Bimpe's case, they've been dating for 2 years, and he says he wants to marry her. Should she go ahead with it or not, and why? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for calling. Please, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Juliana. I'm calling from Akute.
Liana.
Juliana.
Juliana from Akute. Thank you for calling. Is this your first time of calling?
Yes, this is my first time of calling.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for calling. Yes, that's for you, Juliana. Thank you for calling. All right, please go ahead.
Actually, yes, my advice to this is if she's happy with the man and the children are comfortable with the arrangement, the whole marriage thing, then you can go ahead with it. All that matters is her happiness, not necessarily her old or the different age of age. If she's okay with it, the relationship with the children is okay, and there's no child contesting to the marriage, then I advise her to go ahead if she's fine and if she knows the man well enough.
Okay. So your concern is if she knows him well enough to make sure that none of the children is contesting the marriage, and that if they really love each other.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Juliana. Thank you for calling.
Thank you very much.
Pardon me. All right. So Juliana is saying that she can go ahead with the marriage as long as there are no children contesting the marriage, if they really love each other, and if he is happy, if they're happy together. That's the most important thing right now, and that's what Juliana is saying. So what are your thoughts? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. Good afternoon.
Good evening, Chichi. Thank you for calling.
How was your day?
My day was good. How was yours?
It's fantastic. Thank you.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
This story is delightful. I don't really know where to start. Okay. This is my advice to this lady.
What's your advice?
If I'm in her shoe, 26, 52, if I'm in her shoe, or if I should advise her, it's a no-go area to me. I don't know why, because it's after our advice, she will do what she wants to do. But my own advice is, no. It's not about the age. Let's take it now, first. The first child is
they divorce their mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then those second one, the big transit is somewhere. And still they have to hang on the wall. Then now, you want to marry you. Okay, now those they will start contesting. This one will be the first children, this one is the second. I know it. Those children will start fighting back then. Because you will look at the future. Don't look at what you're about to enjoy today. Look at the future. Even if you want, like what I'm living life in a life to life. You know, man has that. And lady has done her own thing. You know, man has that thing. They're not up to it. The kind of young girl. You understand? If that went down, the man has to that money.
Are you saying it's about the money? Are you saying she probably likes him because of the money?
It's not about the money.
Okay.
How to take that young guy. I don't know how to put it something.
I don't really know what you're talking about. I need you to explain yourself, Chichi, so I can really understand it.
What I mean,
They know how to take better care of younger ladies. Is that what you mean? Oh, okay.
that okay, the young guy of 27
Okay.
or even that 25, you understand?
Mm.
And then that is what I do. Because maybe we have seen so many, the man at his age, he has many experience, you understand where I'm going? It's not about the money or about the youth. But what we are saying is about the future. The future has to take it to the thing. You know that when you meet them now, what the children do, maybe about the property of the church, you start contesting with others. Because you cannot, as soon as it is your body, you understand it? Now, if it is the university now, all the children, both man and even all of them, they will have the property. And this, along the line, it will be a problem. The other answer is that you have to take well. You have to take well. That's my advice.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chichi. No problem. Thank you so much.
That's my advice.
Okay. So Chichi is talking about the future. She's talking about the future, and she's saying that Bimpe needs to look more into the future and not at the now. She's saying that Bimpe needs to consider the fact that when her own children come, if she eventually gets married to this man and her own children start to arrive, it will get to a point in the future, maybe when the man is older and or about to die or late already, and they start to contest his property and inheritance that he's left behind. And in such a situation, all these children will now come forth, and then it will be a state of, oh, this person is hassling for this, struggling for this. And then Bimpe's children would now, since they are the last set of children, would now literally be the ones fighting for their part in the inheritance. So she's saying that look at that and try to make a better decision. She's saying, I don't think it's a wise idea, according to Chichi. Now, one solution for that, tentatively, would be a will. If Bimpe's boyfriend puts together a will, probably has it now and keeps updating it before he passes, that could totally solve the issue. If his will is written and there's a lawyer to authenticate it and make sure that it's valid, then I'm not sure what is there to contest. Yes, some people can still say with the will, they can still want to contest property. But when there's a will, I mean, I really don't think that there's too much to contest, actually. So, that could be a solution for that. But what are your thoughts about this? What do you think? What do you think that Bimpe should do? Do you think it's wise to go ahead? Or do you think it's not wise to go ahead? If you don't think it's wise, why not? If you think it's wise, why? Hello, good evening. Good evening. Thank you for calling. Please, what's your name and where are you calling from? Hello, are you there? Yes. Please tell me your name and where you're calling from. Oh, Christopher, how are you doing today? Hope you had a good day. It was good. It was good. Thank you so much. Yes. Yes, he's 52. Yes. Well, it could be that the man is the one that approached her. Maybe she's in love with the man. It doesn't necessarily have to be about the money. That could just be an added benefit. Okay, you're advising that she should try to find out first. Okay, thank you very much, Christopher. Thank you. Okay, Christopher is pretty passionate about this, and he's saying that if it were his sister, he would advise her not to go ahead with it. And he feels that she needs to find out what exactly was responsible for the breakup of both relationships. First, the marriage, and then the other relationship that didn't work out. What happened between your boyfriend and these other two women? Why didn't it work out? How did it end? So he's saying you need to find out that before you even think about it. But he's also saying he doesn't think that you should go ahead with that marriage. So that's basically what he's saying. So thank you, Christopher from Ogba. Thank you for calling. Interesting situation right now. More people are tilting towards the fact that she should not marry him, and their suppositions that it's about the money. I mean, there's nowhere in the story that says this man has a lot of money, but there's nowhere in the story that says he doesn't have a lot of money. One would expect, or one would assume, that at 52 he should have amassed a certain level of financial stability. So maybe he can afford more than the random 26, 28-year-old, 30-year-old can afford, and maybe he has, more than that, which is supposedly, or which is at this point a tentative reason why one would assume that Big Bay is with him. But does it necessarily have to be about the money? Does it necessarily have to be about the money? Can't it just be love? What do you think? Can't it just be love? Hello, good evening. Please try to call back if you can. Hello, good evening. Okay. Yes. No, I'm not a baby, and this is adult conversation. So you can say anything. You can say anything. Okay, she should consider that as well. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chichi. Very valid point. Chichi is talking about their sex life. Whether or not in another 5, 10 years, whether this man will be able to still give it to her sexually, will still be able to perform very well in terms of sex. Will he be able to give her the sexual satisfaction that she will need? In another 5 years, she's going to be 31. She's going to be 31. He's going to be 57. In 10 years, he's going to be 62. She's going to be 36. And will their sexual staminas work together at that point? Now, I must say that I don't know what this man looks like, but trust me, there's some 52-year-olds that are in way better shape than some 34-year-olds or some 30-year-olds. I don't know how it happens, but sometimes there are cases like that. This is not to say that that's the case here. So it could be that this is the case. At the same time, it could be that that's not the case. And at the end of the day, this is definitely something to consider, because the older the man gets, biologically, the less strong he would be. He would be weaker as he ages, which would, on some level, definitely affect his sexual performance. Now, as the woman, the older she gets, she would possibly feel the need to have more orgasms, basically, to be more sexually active. And at this point, her husband, who is this older man, may not be able to fulfill those sexual desires. So that is definitely something to consider. That is not to say that that's the case, but it's definitely something for being paid to consider, according to Chichi. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Hello? Hello? First, I need you to turn down your radio. Turn down the volume of your radio. Have you done that?
Yes.
Thank you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from Barriga.
Emmanuel, I need you to turn down the volume of your radio. I can still hear the feedback. Turn it down, please. Are we good? Can you hear me? Okay, so that's what's going to keep happening if you do not turn down the volume of your radio. I will be able to hear the echo, and it will be not conducive for this phone call and for this conversation. So please turn it down. Turn the volume of your radio down. It's important that you do that. Just adhere to the rules, all right? When you call in, turn down the volume of your radio. It's important so that we can have a productive conversation. You can hear me, I can hear you, and we're good. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Johnson. How are you doing?
Good evening, Dikemban. I'm very well, thank you. Hope you had a good day.
Yes, and I watched Egypt and the little sluggy also.
I hope it's going well.
It's going well. It's just been for this some time now.
Oh, the match has ended.
You said?
Has the match ended?
No, they just added additional 30 minutes for them to play.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes. They just ended the 90 minutes and 0-0 on each side.
All right. Fantastic.
I don't know or I'm drinking now.
As in, so in case I don't know anything, I go know this one at least.
I can't see from Yes. The matter with the girl like this.
Naimo.
So honestly, there's no straight answer to this issue now. There's no straight, honestly. Because what works for the other person will work for the other person. That's the way I feel like. And you recall about a sitting senator or a senator, or not, the Nollywood actors. And we are still celebrating it. When you look at that man, you think he cannot perform. But he looks very agile. And the girl is happy. And they are happily married. They have children. And they have a child right now. But my concern also is the girl in question
Being paid.
There are two, yes, let's be honest with ourselves. There are two things people consider when they want to marry people who are far more older than them. Number one, they look at the resources. That the man is resourceful. If the money is not there, I tell you, the attraction will not just be there. It is not only the typical thing that the woman wants to bring. Mind you, let's not forget, this guy already has a lot, because when it's before, I consider that family as large.
Okay.
And yes, of course. And you coming in at 26, there's no way you will not, dream to have a family of yours. So if you are coming with additional 3 or 2, you can see the family is expanding. It's not really take care of this large family. Does it have what it takes? That's number one.
Okay.
Then 2, somebody talked about the sexual partner. I think that is the point to consider. If you think, going by the number of years or months you are dealing with this man, that you can derive your joy sexually when that comes to play, well, fine or good. Again, you have the emotional intelligence to cope with 4 children that are not yours, because automatically they become your stepchildren at 26. Can you handle that? If that is the case, I'm not talking about the age difference.
Okay.
Yes, hello. But I need us to consider some of these questions bringing up now. Then let me also chip in a little advice. Peradventure, she has really made up her mind to go. First of all, find out and strike a good relationship with a man person and see how much they can love you and see how much you can get along. If there is this love between the children and yourself and this man, and you find out that this man genuinely loves you, there won't be friction in the near future. I think the go. At 26, I don't know what she looks like. There are women who are 26 or 25, but when you look at them, they look far more older than what they look in terms of physical appearance.
Okay.
That's the true or false.
No, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Yes, that's true. She might be 26, but when you look for women that are like that, when you look at them, you begin to wonder, this person just 26, but she looks, a lot more older than her age. It does happen. It doesn't matter whether it is male or female. It does happen. It's a natural thing. So if she has that intelligence, if she has that emotional, what is this emotionally to, handle this, then I think she can go. She can go.
All right.
That's not for me.
Thank you very much, Deacon Ben. Thank you for calling.
That's yesterday.
Interesting. So Deacon Ben talked about the age difference, but he's saying it's not really about that for him. It's about first, is the man financially capable enough to handle that big family, which will include her own children when her children start to come, inclusive of the first 2, the last 2, and her own children, however many they would be eventually. Does he have that kind of money to cater for all these children, inclusive of the women as well, because he has to take care of them too? And she needs to consider the sexual aspect of things, just like Chichi said. I already talked about that. He also said she needs to be emotionally intelligent enough to navigate the entirety of the relationship with the children specifically. He also said it's important to initiate a relationship with the children to make sure that they love her just as much as they love their father, so that they can have a smooth relationship without any drama. So that's basically what Deacon Ben is saying. What do you think? Hello, good evening. Good evening. Thank you for calling. Hello?
What is it?
Okay, call me back. Yeah. See, I don't think that was for adult conversations. All right. This is 2 minutes past the hour of 10 on your Women Radio, WFM 91.7, Nigeria's only radio station for women and their families. Tonight, on Adult Conversations, we're talking about Bimpe's story. Bimpe is simply telling us that her 52-year-old boyfriend wants to marry her, and she doesn't know what to do. Bimpe is 26. She's a trader. Her boyfriend is 52. He is a financial analyst. He has 4 children, and he wants to marry her. So she's saying, should I go ahead with it or not? What are your thoughts about this? You can call me on 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. Also, you can send a text or a WhatsApp message onto 0703 175 6537. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, thank you for calling.
My name is Samuel.
Samuel,
Calling from. What do you mean?
where are you calling from?
I'm calling from the church.
From Ikeja.
Yeah. I have to give an advice to that lady. My advice is that lady should not marry the man
Okay.
because the man is older than the lady. So the relationship can be coming.
Samuel, say that again. The relationship can what? Hello, Samuel. Okay. The only thing I got from that is what he said because of the age difference. She shouldn't marry him because of the age. Samuel, if you can hear me, please call back so that we can get more advice from you, what exactly it is that you wanted to say. All right. Interesting turn of events so far. And I think it's safe to say that there's a conflict, a little bit of conflict in the schools of thought that we have heard so far. But the things that unite these schools of thought, as different as they are, is the age difference and the children and the sexual interests, so to speak. Age difference, I think that speaks for itself. Bimpe is 26. Her boyfriend is exactly double her age. He's times 2 of her age. He's 52, and 52 is literally times 2 of 26. So Bimpe's boyfriend is exactly double her age. So that's that about the age. The other part will be the children. Now the concern is, yes, you say the children don't live with you, but do they like you? Will they like you enough to accept you into their family, regardless of whether they live there or not? Would they like you enough to accept you into their family as their father's wife? Then, of course, the sexual part of it. So those are the 3 things that have stood out in the course of conversation today. Those are the 3 things that have stood out in the course of conversation. So these are the basic 3 things that are concerning to people tonight, concerning Bimpe's interest in this man and his interest in marrying her. Now, bear in mind that Bimpe and her boyfriend have been dating for 2 years. They've been dating for 2 years. None of these 4 children live with the man. His first 2 children are 28 and 32 from the initial marriage. From the initial marriage. The other 2 are twins and they are 9 from a relationship that didn't work out after the divorce. So now, the question now is, should Bimpe go ahead with this marriage? She's been dating him for 2 years, so they're not even talking about a relationship, they're talking about a marriage. Is it advisable or not? Hello, good evening. Good evening. Thank you for calling. What's your name? Hello, what's your name? Femi, you're calling from where? Alagule. Okay, okay. Femi, are you calling for the first time? Oh, thank you. Thank you. This is for you. Yes, thank you for calling. You're very welcome. Please go ahead. Yes. Okay. So let me get this correctly. Femi, can you hear me? Hello, Femi, are you there? Okay, I think what he basically said would be that she should try and figure out why the two women left the man. Why? Why the two women left the man? That would be something that she should figure out. Also, he is advising her not to marry him because he's saying that in the future, properties, inheritance, all of that could pose an issue in the future. And after a while, the children can even send her out of the house, send her packing, send her and her kids packing without anything. So he's saying that that is a concern for him, and it should be a concern for Bimpe as well. Now, initially when this came up, what I said was that a will can solve all of that. A will can solve all of that. I don't mean to take us to digress, but if anybody here has seen the Chief Daddy movie, you would understand a little sense of what I'm talking about. As long as there's a will, to a large extent, that will is bounded by law. So there shouldn't be too much of an issue as regards who gets what and how much they get, because there's a will that clearly states this is what they get and this is what they get. But I think the main concern is not really whether they get what they get, would be the fact that are they going to be satisfied with whatever they get, or are they going to want to contest whatever it is that they get? Now, bear in mind that this man, well, at least at the moment, there's no conversation about his health, whether he's kicking the bucket anytime soon and all of that. But this is a consideration for people. This is a concern for people because of the future. Chichi also mentioned this, and it's a concern because of the future. So, what do you think about this? Do you think this is a legitimate enough concern for her to not marry him because of this? Or do you think this is something that can be discussed between Bimpe and her boyfriend and they can come to some kind of resolution? Or do you think a relationship with Bimpe and the children would solve all of these potential issues that can pop up in the future? So what are your thoughts about this? What do you think? And how do you think it can be sorted out? Do you think Bimpe should marry him? Or do you think she should not marry him? What do you think she should do at this point? Bimpe is 26. She's probably ready. Pardon me. She's probably ready to get married. And yes, this man is the person that she's been in a 2-year relationship with. And this is probably the person that she sees herself marrying because, of course, they've been together for 2 years. So at this point, she's just really asking herself, is it going to be worth it in the long run? Do I really want to do this? Do I really want to do this? That's the question. So, what is your advice for Bimpe? Do you think she should go ahead with this? Or do you think that the age difference is a concern? Is it a concern valid enough for her not to marry him? Okay, so this is a message coming in from YO from Ikeja. YO is saying, many may feel the age difference is huge, but does the woman in question feel so comfortable with the man? Will she be proud throughout her lifetime being married to the man? Is the man ready to make more babies, which the lady will want as a woman? An honest conversation that addresses each party's concern is important before a final decision is made. Okay? And that's what YO is saying. I think the bottom line of that message is that the interest that she has and the interest that he has have to align before they can get married. So if she wants children, does he want more children? He already has 4. Does he want more? She's also saying we should be proud throughout her lifetime being married to the man. Again, I've said I don't know what the man looks like. I did say that there are some 52-year-olds or 54-year-olds who are in much better physical shape than even some 30-year-olds. But does that apply to this case? I don't know. But the question here is that YO is asking, will she be proud throughout her lifetime being married to this man? Also, does she feel comfortable with the man in terms of the age? So if she doesn't feel bothered by the age, why should anybody else feel bothered by it? So at this point, I think we've exhausted all the things that could actually be potential issues for Bimpe and her boyfriend. So it comes down to, should she or should she not do this? Should she take the bull by the horns and marry him? Or should she not do this because of a lot of considerations for the future? Also, we don't know Bimpe's relationship history. We don't know if she has been brokenhearted by a number of other younger guys, and maybe this man was the person who probably built her back up and, you know, restored her faith in love or things like that. But Chichi did say that these levels of men, I mean these kinds of men who are this old, already have had a lot of experience with women, so they know how to love right, particularly when they've been divorced, married, divorced, and all of that. So they know how to approach the whole love thing, particularly in a way that appeals to these younger women. So is this a money issue? Is this a love issue? What exactly is it that could pose as an issue that you would say that Bimpe should not marry him? And then what exactly is it that you would say that is reason enough for Bimpe to marry him? Okay, please call back if you can. So this is 16 minutes past the hour of 10 on Your Women Radio, WFM 91.7. Shortly, I'll be taking messages from Facebook. You can also watch on Facebook. We're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at WFM 917. WFM 917. We're streaming live, so you can actually watch me and enjoy the conversation while you watch everything that goes on in the studio. It's also important that even when you message on text, on WhatsApp, I mean, you need to put your name and location. You need to put your name and location. Now, I'll go on Facebook and take some messages. Olawale Peter Ayani is saying, age is just a number. If you truly love him, you can go ahead. But try to build a lovely relationship with his children. Never see them as your rivals. That's what Olawale Peter Ayeni is saying. Max Zion is saying, I can't read that. Eno Mana Favor Oceano is saying, can't read that either. James Jabless Titi is saying, if you love him, then go ahead. Probably Like is saying, this one had to swallow, but I will force it down. I don't think it's wrong. John Oye is asking, what about the wife? Neguas Nelson is saying, it's not easy, especially in the midst of his children, but only show them more love and try not to have too many children of your own. Okay. Thank you very much for that warning. And he does make a valid point, because if she has too many children, then some of that might be, something like what Dickie Bent said, an even bigger family, which eventually might be a challenge or might pose a jealousy issue or something along those lines in the future, which is what everybody's saying basically about the whole, splitting of properties, inheritance, all of that. So if she has too many children, it will definitely affect all of that, and eventually that might not go down well in future. But here we are in the present. Nobody except God knows what is happening in the future. So for now, should Binkwe not marry him because of some potential issues that might pop up in the future, which probably might not pop up because we don't know for sure? Or should she just damn the consequences and marry him? They've been dating for 2 years. They probably already know each other to a large extent. They have a good relationship. And Binkwe did not say anything about that in her story, but to a large extent it would seem that Binkwe actually loves this man and probably wants to marry him. But she needs to know, what are some of the things that she might be encountering in her future that would be preventable if she doesn't marry him now? Or what are some things that are possibly going to be challenges but can be overcome with love and mutual understanding as they go forward? So this is where Binkwe needs you to give advice. This is where she needs to hear from you, and yes, you. The number to call is 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. You can also send in a text or WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. What do you think about this? Do you think that Binkwe is on the right track and she should not care what anybody else says? Or do you think she should be concerned about public opinion? She should become concerned about how he's going to look in a number of years, and the fact that she might not be able to present him outside as her boyfriend because she's as her husband rather, because she's not going to be proud of him because of how much he's going to age? Is that something that she should be very careful about? Is that something she should take into heavy consideration before accepting to marry this man? So what are your thoughts? How do you think she can navigate this? And do you think that she should marry the man? He wants to marry her. The question is, does she want to marry him? And that's where you come in. This is where you come in. This is where you give advice. And this is why I ask the question, if this has been your reality before, it doesn't necessarily have to be double your age. You could be 20-something and the person you're with could be maybe in his early 40s. That's also a healthy age gap as well. It's also a little bit of a big gap as well. So you can also call in and give advice. Do you have children with the person now? But the person's children old enough to tell you whether they want you or they don't want you? Are you a stepmom now? And what's the current situation of your marriage? Also, if you're an older man and you're listening right now, what is your advice to Binkwe? Do you think she should take the offer of the marriage? Do you think she should accept the man's proposal to be married? Because if it were you and you were dating a younger girl and you wanted to marry her, is there anything that you would be concerned about that you think that would be concerning enough to dissuade your girlfriend from marrying you? So that's why I'm asking. I'm asking both from the girl perspective and from the man's perspective. So however you answer me or however you give advice, it's all well and good. It's all well and good because every single scenario is needed right now. Bimpe needs to get a wholesome, perspective as she is listening. So what are your thoughts? What do you think she should do? Hello, good evening. She shut down. All right, I'll take that as maybe he didn't plan to call, or it just wasn't the right time. All right, please call back if you can. Bob Wire is messaging. This is a message from Bob Wire saying, Bimpe, your boyfriend did not need any more children. He needs someone to take care of him at his old age. Very valid point. Now, this could totally be one of the major reasons that Bimpe's boyfriend wants to marry her, because he probably needs someone to take care of him in his old age. Now, bear in mind that he's 26 years older than Bimpe. He's literally double Bimpe's age. So in another 10 years, he will still be 26 years older than Bimpe. But he will be older. He's not going to be 52 in another 10 years. He'll be 62 at that point. Two-year-old man. But he'll be older, and this is possibly another reason why he wants to marry Bimpe, because he needs someone to take care of him in his old age. Do you think she should say yes or no? Hello, good evening. Okay, come on, call me. And if you can't put the call through, maybe because of the network or because of where you are, you can always send in a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Okay.
What I want to ask from what I said before, different to example. The man has 4 children at 50 years. The man is not looking for a child again. And that is 50 years old. He's looking for someone when the two lives are best, he's looking for someone that will take care of him when he's old. So he just want to tie that equation. Give them to please be careful. And does the Christian parents know about the relationship?
I will ask that question. I will ask that question. Very important. Thank you very much, Christopher.
So we are going to be careful. This man is not looking for he's not looking for a child. He's looking for somebody who takes care of him when he's old. So be careful.
Thank you very much. Okay. See why I love adult conversations. You get all these other different points of view that you probably didn't even see in the first place. Now, Bob Wire, which I don't think that's a real name, by the way, Bob Wire is saying that he doesn't need another child. He just needs someone to take care of him in his old age. Christopher is definitely agreeing with that point. He's saying that he also thinks that this man just wants to have someone to cater for him in his old age. He doesn't want a baby at this point. He doesn't want more children. Now, Bimpe could want that, but if she wants children and he doesn't, that is definitely a topic that should be up for conversation. But Christopher is also saying that he probably, how did he put that now? He said something about he wants to tie Bimpe down. Yes, that he just wants to tie her down. So could this be the case? Hello, good evening. Hello? Ray.
Yeah, calling from Belgium.
Oh, Ray, you called yesterday. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, how's it going?
My day was good, Ray. How about you?
Very well.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
You said your properly tonight about India and
Her boyfriend.
a 52-year-old boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
How many years longer is your friend now? 52-year-old man. First and foremost, my question is, what is she looking for? Or what kind of relationship does she want with a 52-year-old man? Right? She has children, right?
No, she doesn't have any children.
She doesn't have any children.
No, she doesn't have any children.
I heard when you said the man's older children are one of them is 22.
Yes, one of them is 26 and 32, yes.
You said
26 and 32. Let me confirm that. 28, pardon me. 28 and 32.
28 and 32. What's much older than?
Yes.
Now the thing is, when I see, he's only going there to be a man. Obviously, another thing is, we don't even need a man's health purpose. And even if she wants to marry the 50-year-old man, how about the older children? Will they agree? Will they accept her into their family? Those are things she should consider. She's still so very much young. She can look for someone who they will grow up together along their children or even see. I don't get if the matter of that is. I don't understand. I don't know the financial status as well. I think you should just think before taking that in. That's my advice.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you so much. Where do I begin? Ray is concerned about the fact that the children, again, might pose an issue. She's saying that these children are older than Pinkpay. They're older. So he's saying, what if they kick against the union? Wouldn't that be an issue? Wouldn't that be a challenge? Plus, Ray is saying that, in her own opinion, Pinkpay is just going to get married to this man only to become a nanny to at least if nobody else, to at least the two young ones, the 9-year-old twins. So she's saying that she doesn't think that this will work out, but she should think about it properly, particularly from the perspective of the future and the future that they can have, in the sense of the age, the family, the children, and all of that. So she's saying, Ray is saying, Bink is still 26. She can still find, love with somebody else, and it will still be amazing, rather than having to go with the 52-year-old man. Yeah. So, what do you think about that? This is 10:30 on Your Women Radio, WFM 91.7. Hello, good evening. Hello? Okay, please call back if you can. Alright, we're profiling Binkpe's story tonight. Binkpe is telling us that her boyfriend is 56 and she is 52 rather. She's 26 and he wants to marry her. They've been dating for 2 years and now he wants to marry her. So at this point she's asking, what should I do? Should I marry him or not? Now, this is a very, very dicey situation. So I would appreciate that we approach it with such. So it's a little bit of a challenge now, particularly for the children, And that's here I say challenge because quite a number of people have mentioned the whole children situation. You know, what if this is just not working? It's just not working, and the children are just out there making everything worse, so to speak, making everything worse. So I don't even know where to begin, but this is definitely Bimpe's question. She's asking, should I go ahead or not? Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Oh. Okay, please try to call back. Please try to call back if you can. Okay. So, we don't know the health status of Bimpe's boyfriend. Somebody mentioned that, oh, we don't know how old he is. I mean, we don't know his health status. Yes, we don't know. But, I mean, one would only hope that he's healthy, because I believe that if he had a health defect whatsoever, Bimpe would have mentioned it here as well. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Thank you for calling. Please, what is your name and where are you calling from? Celestina from Magboro. Okay. Thank you. Are you calling for the first time? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, please go ahead.
I don't know whether this Bimpe has ever had any symptoms. Now, if she feels nobody will admit her again in marriage, yes, and she says she can go ahead. But if not, please let her wait. Another sister will come.
So, if I get you correctly, you're saying that she's desperate?
I'm saying, maybe she has not been fortunate with before to take a sister. So she might feel this way. But what I believe basically is she should leave this man and then she go. Another person will come to marry her.
So that's your basic message, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
No returning on this man.
Thank you, Celestina. Thank you for calling. All right. She's pretty straight to the point. There's no need hammering on this man. Leave him alone. Just leave him alone for someone else. Leave him alone and let him, just go through this with you and have a good life with you. Just leave it alone. So she's saying, don't bother dating this man. Just don't. So I don't know at this point. I don't know. Should she not? What do you think? Do you think this is beneficial for her? Or do you think this is not a good idea for her? What do you think about it? Something to think about. Alright. So at this point, this is an I don't know what to do point. I don't know what to do point. In the sense that Bimpe is asking, and I mean you're wondering how are things going right now? Even with your relationship, you're wondering how are things going? Because I mean, if they're talking marriage, then that must mean that this guy knows what he wants. So, to a large extent, if things are not communicated right, it could become this whole thing between Bimpe, the man, the children, everybody, basically everybody. So the next step now would be your advice. What do you think that she can do about this? Because of course, I'm in this kind of situation. Bimpe is 26, which means that she's ripe, she's young, she has a lot of life ahead of her. So it's a very, very dicey one. What can we do? All we can do is give advice at this point. That's all we can do. So call in and give your advice. Call him and give you advice. As simple as that. The number to call is 07000 917 917. That's the number to call me on any day, anytime. And let me see. I would like to mention the fact that there are two ladies involved here. So I'm just giving us some more context. There are two ladies involved. That's the ex-wife and the mother of the 9-year-old twins. Those are the two later children, the 9-year-old twins. So they're definitely going to have a bigger family. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Crazy situation. I can't wait to hear from you. Please keep calling so that we can have a good conversation and help Bimpe out. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for calling. Please, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Prince. I'm calling from Magboro, Lagos.
Prince or Praise?
Prince.
Okay. Prince from Magboro. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, my advice to the young lady, she should withdraw from such marriage because there will be a discrimination in future between the both parties. When the father is no more, there will be a serious war between the two children and other women who would like to come in to claim the properties of the man if the man is wealthy. So that's how we draw from the life of 52-year-old man.
So you think it's a bad idea?
It's a very bad idea to go because it's not advisable. I can advise my sister to go in such marriage.
Interesting. Okay, well, thank you very much for calling, Prince. Thank you so much. Okay. Definitely getting better on adult conversations today. And you heard Prince. He said, I don't think this is a good idea. Oh, we have another call coming in. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for calling. Please, what's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Nikki from Magboro.
Nike.
Nikki.
Okay, Nike from Magboro. Okay.
Yeah. My own advice to Vinci is to let go of the man.
Okay, so she let go of the man.
Is not the right man for her. Considering the circumstances that surround the world and especially young children, to let go. I want to go home. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay, Nika is saying, I don't think you should date this man. Somebody who is right for you, who is younger, will definitely want you, and that is probably the person that you should settle with. Nika was basically saying that this man is old, and she doesn't think that it's a good idea for Big Bay to continue a relationship with this man, particularly when he's talking about marriage now. So I think to a large extent everything looks how do I put this down? It looks like a little bit of a confused situation. A little bit of a confused, situation. So you're asking yourself, is this the right thing for me? And I'm sure these are questions that Bingwe has asked herself even before bringing it to adult conversations. Is this the best thing for me? Should I do this? Or, everything is starting out. But there's no particular clause. There's no particular clause to anything that goes on within these two people, particularly because they've been together for 9+ years, basically. For 2 years plus, basically. They've been together for 2 years. I believe that 2 years is even counting now. So 2 years and possibly counting. And the big man, so to speak, is saying that, yes. So Nika in this case is saying that she should just not bother. She should just not bother marrying this person. And honestly, every single school of thought is valid. But isn't there an upside to this? Isn't there an upside to this? Is there anything that is advantageous that you're feeling like, oh, I've been doing this, I'm getting better? What exactly is going on right now? What exactly is going on right now? And how is this? I need to get the phrasing correctly. Now, the closer we get to the age challenge and sort it out, the better it would be, even for the children, for the baby mamas, for everything. It would help tremendously, because of, I don't know how that's going to play out or what. But what I'm basically trying to say is the age difference can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing, depending on how it's looked at. So can the children situation as well. But you cannot make decisions now, and at the end of the day you wish, oh, this is what I could have said, this is what I could have said. So what do you think Bimpe can do? I'll be rounding off soon. But what do you think Bimpe's best choice is right now? Give her advice. Do you think she should not love the guy? Or do you think she should love him and go for him? Or do you think she should... What do you think she should do, basically? What do you think Bimpe can do? So the number is 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. So, what are your thoughts about this? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? It's a very energized situation, particularly when things like this happen, because I mean, at some point one would think that the man would know what's her name, Bimpe, enough to ask her, is this what you want as well? So I'm hoping that this is not a situation of just the man saying, I want to be married, and then you having to fashion all your life plans around that, or if that's what you as a person want as well. Hello, good evening. Okay, please call back if you can. Call back if you can. Very interesting conversation today, most definitely. And let me see if we have any text or WhatsApp messages. Okay, this one is coming in from Michael. Michael is saying your program is inspiring. Thank you. Thank you so much, Michael. Bimpe should follow her heart. Thank you so much. Okay. Alright. So we don't really have any more new messages, but I needed to read that so that we can understand where we are right now. So this is 15 minutes to 11 on your Women Radio, WFM 91.7. And I'm just interested in the solution. What can be done? Hello, good evening. Good evening. Please turn down the volume of your radio. Turn it down. Turn down the volume of your radio. Hello? Have you turned it down? Have you turned down the volume of your radio? Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I can hear you. Yes. Tell me your name, please.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Kennedy from Congo, Joko.
Okay, okay.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, this is my first time of calling on your program.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much.
Number one, this is woman issue. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you, of course.
Yeah, you're supposed to step up, tie your wrapper, and fight for her.
Mm.
Hello? Even if the man wants to sell the house, there's supposed to be a woman that will buy the house for her. There are a lot of women that are millionaires. They should be hearing your program right now as you are saying it. Are you online?
Yes, of course. We're on Facebook On Facebook and on YouTube. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes, fine. But on another level, we have never heard from the man. The
Okay.
woman herself may have misbehaved. You know, life, if you are going to life, if you are going to, let's say, marital life, you know, it's the woman issue that we are hearing from. You don't know what makes the man to go far to that level. Are you hearing me?
I am.
Thank you. So on that base, because of the age time, we cannot justify on this issue, except one here from the
Man.
from the one and the second before one will be able to. But at the same time, the husband supposed not to leave his own right to the woman because of the future of the children that are between them. Marital life is not easy. And moreover, if the husband could allow her to be managing the school program, completely, she can even use that money to train the children, provided the man have absconded and the man is not taking care of the family. Then Nigeria rise up, the woman rise up and buy the house for the woman. Please, reach out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Candy, for calling. Some of that was not related to the story. Some of that was not related to the story, but I appreciate your call, so thank you very much. Let's just go back to messages. This one is coming from Dr. John, physiotherapist from Agege, who says, "Good evening, all. Please, that lady should consider many factors. What made other wives to leave him? Is she going to have another set of children in addition to these ones? What if he tells her that he doesn't need any child anymore? But she should remember that it's very good for someone to have his or her own child or children. Number 4, she should consider the age difference. What if the man's wives come back later because of their children? My dear, you're too young to face this challenge." And that's coming from Dr. John, physiotherapist from Agege. Alright, Tony is saying love is a good thing, but it can sometimes blind us from seeing certain things about those whom we love. I hope Benkwe has thought about everything that she needs to think about regarding getting married to a man who is twice her age and a divorcee. There are many things that may come up in the marriage as time goes by, which Benkwe might think she'll be able to handle, but when the time comes, she will not be sure. May I ask a few simple questions? What has Benkwe's family's reaction to their relationship been? What has the reaction of her potential stepchildren towards their relationship with their father? And what has been her observation of societal response to their relationship? I won't tell Benkwe what to do, but I think this is the time for her to be true to herself regarding her future and a choice of a life partner. I wish her well. And that's from Tony. Talkback from Ikorodu is saying, "Good evening, my people, and trust you're all doing great. As much as Benkwe is at liberty to please herself, sincerely speaking, this is not the best for you. Age is still on your side. Going into this type of relationship shows you don't care much for your unborn children. At any rate, the choice is yours." Okay, well, and I think that wraps up messaging on Facebook, Instagram, and text as well, and even calls actually. This is where we draw the curtain on adult conversations today, and I will see you next week. To a large extent, we have analyzed a lot of schools of thought, and there's just this consistent one, which is the age and the fact that the children also need to be in support of this relationship, particularly if they're really looking to get married. I would like to take more calls, but I'm out of time, so I apologize for that, and kindly call later on. Let me just take this one last one, and that's it. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, thank you for calling. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I called yesterday concerning the lady that had this relationship, 4 months toxic relationship with the
Yes.
family wanting to give her a property.
A business, yes.
I've been listening to this graphic, the graphic is saying, I'm standing at Fakade this year, calling to movie.
Tell me your name again, please.
Stanley Afakade.
Okay, Stanley.
I called you.
Yes, you did. Thank you so much. Please go ahead.
Yesterday I was talking about toxic relationships.
Yes.
I think people as this man, I think this guy is using this man when he was 24. Because they have been dating for the past
2 years, yes. Yes.
Yeah, this man must have had some relationship that didn't work. Married once, twice, yes, he might have a relationship issue, I agree. But for people to have been dating for 2 years, I think people must have considered so many things. I think people must have established good relationship with the children, must have established good relationship with the spouse, family. And I think this people have made up her mind must have also with our own family a reason why she must marry this man. And let me also tell you something. Older men take care of younger girls. I want to give myself as an example. My mother had what was 42 years old now. My relation, she is down.
Oh, yes.
But I'm doing good. I'm good. No stress. But I know sometimes marriages can be funny. You know what I'm talking about? This man might be unlucky to have made the wrong one. You take it to the children for the two different women. So I think making this one now might be the right one. And for people to be steadfast, I'm sure people don't know how many children before.
No, she doesn't have any children.
And I'm not going to people to talk about it. She must have had the relationship that didn't work also with the younger one for her to have taken this decision. For me, my advice to this day, if you are taking time to really come out all you need to get out of this class in terms of character, behavior, and otherwise, I don't see anything bad. First and foremost, establish relationship with children, the husband family, forget about the wife. I think the husband knows what he's looking for. The man in question knows what he's looking for.
Okay.
People say the man tomorrow might grow old and the other wife wants to come back. Is there nothing to become real? If they are getting married, the husband can write to live. If he's financially buoyant, can write to live.
All right. Thank you very much, Stanley. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Well, that wraps it up on Adult Conversations today. Thank you very much, Stanley. That's a final call. And thank you very much to everyone who has sent messages on Facebook, text, WhatsApp. All your contributions have been noted. And I am sure that Binkwe at this point will be able to take an informed decision from all the advice that we have given tonight. On behalf of Binkwe, I thank you again, and I hope you'll join me next week, same time, same station, and of course, same program, Adult Conversations. Thank you to my producer, Taiwo Adelaye, my engineer on duty, Michael. My name is Sumto Titilayo Ajama. Good evening.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Hi, YouTube is a very crazy thing.
What happened?
YouTube stops streaming things.
For real?
But Facebook is complete. I'll just download and upload on YouTube.
Upload on YouTube. That's the next thing.